Like I was a dark horse, this, that, and the other. And the only thing I could do is prove people wrong. Do something you're not expected to do. And it just showed I was able to kick with the top guys and kind of jump started my potential pro career.
The pass was made by Margot Loja, returning the favor.
It's Will Loja, second straight year. What a battle.
And the young man running for the hometown Terriers will win.
Let's go, Will, finish.
Now Will Loja taking it out.
Will Loja, Goober. Will Loja, we got
Will Loja, huge kick.
Welcome to The Kick, a runner's podcast. I'm your host, Will Loja. I love running and I love good kick. Today's guest has a world-class kick himself. Damien Dilcher, professional runner for Under Armour, former New Jersey legend. So glad to have you on. Thanks for joining me here on The Kick.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. It's always good to connect with Jersey guys.
Yeah, man. I'm a few years younger than you, and I just remember coming up through the ranks as a freshman. You were one of the guys, Brick Township. You were one of the top guys in the state. So it's just kind of a full circle moment to be reconnecting with you here. Did you have guys like that for yourself who were kind of those older guys that you looked up to?
Yeah, it took me a little bit to get into the running scene in high school. I didn't really take it too seriously until about my junior year, but yeah, Drake and Zano, the Dolly brothers. I remember my junior year when my coach was like, "Hey, we should take this seriously." She drove me to Meet a Champs to watch those boys race and like how to get the job done. And I remember watching Drake and Zano kick for a win. Like I've seen Elliot Gindney do it, Jordan Brannon. Like, yeah, plenty of guys growing up to look up to in Jersey. It just keeps going, man.
That's how it is. And Meet of Champions, just like as a meet, when you go to it for the first time, you're like, wow, this would be so cool to be winning this or be in the mix in this.
Yeah.
Really inspiring stuff. And then beyond that, you tend to follow along and kind of like root on the New Jersey alumni. So it's like, I remember specifically being at the 2024 NCAA Championships, and I was there with a friend from high school, and you were in the final for the 1500, and it was like no brainer. Like we were both rooting for you. I think Liam Murphy might have been in there too, Jersey guy, but it was like we were both rooting for the Jersey guys because just, of course, like those are the guys you go for.
Right. You stick to your heritage with Jersey boys, man. You never switch up.
Yeah. So that specific meet, I'm actually wearing my Tracktown USA shirt because that was the first time I was in Oregon at Hayward Field. I feel like that was a standout race for you. I believe you took 5th place in the country in the NCAA in a totally stacked men's 1500 meter. What did that race mean to you? What were your intentions going in?
Yeah, that race meant everything. I would say, like, in my collegiate career, that was definitely the best race I'd ever run. It's definitely up there for races I've ever run, just in terms of how it played out, tactics, not giving up. But I mean, no one really expected me to get out of the region. I remember reading a stride report and like I was a dark horse, this, that, and the other. And there was always this I was running very free because it was like, oh, the only thing I could do is prove people wrong. So, go through regionals and then dip Parvez Khan for the last spot of the final on the line. And then, you're looking at the start list to the final and it's like, all right, top 8's All-American. All I have to do is beat so-and-so. But every name you named was just like, well, this guy could win it. 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 And yeah, just showing up on the line. It was just the mindset was mess it up for someone else, do something you're not expected to do, and just kind of see what happens. And that's how it happened. It went out pretty tactical, and then big move made by Luke Hauser, and it started to string out. And I remember getting caught up in the back with Murphy for a little bit. And with like 250 meters to go, it was just like they were right there, not quite getting away. And it was just like, just do it, man. Like, what do you have to lose? Like, don't baby out of this. And going down the last 100 meters, it was just passing one after the other. And I started to count and I was like, oh my God, if I had went earlier, the top 4 was right there. Like, and obviously who knows, but I mean, you never leave a race satisfied. There's always something to pick apart. But I think that race just showed me like I closed my last 800 faster than my open 800 PB. So it just showed I was able to kick with the top guys and kind of jump started my, at the time, potential pro career.
Yeah, I mean, because at that stage with the NCAA now, those guys are all in the mix for going pro, and that's what it's become in the NCAA. So, if you place that high, that's something that becomes very realistic. And of course, in your case, it's come to fruition. You're now with Under Armour in Baltimore, teammates with a former teammate of mine, Foster Malik, who we've had on the podcast here. He actually credited you as like the main guy who brought him in um, to the Under Armour squad, and that you played a big role in that. So how has that experience been being on a team now with pro guys and competing for, a professional team?
It's been great. There's there's like a mental side to it as well as a running side because you go through college and you have guys that aren't so bought in or they're just to kind of be there, and there's a lot of differences between people. But like when I came here, I was surrounded by people with the same goal, and although we're from different countries, like Foster Canada, Fog British, um, we all had the same goal in mind, and at the end of the day, it's to make a team, it's to run hard, and it's to run well for each other, because we train together every day. We don't do anything different unless we're apart, and it's like if you can do it, if they could do it, so can I. If I could do it, so can they. And I think being a part of this group has really helped elevate me as a person and an athlete because I mean, all these guys have achieved so much. Um, I mean, Fogg has made countless teams run 349. Casey, before retiring, had made a U.S. team. I believe it was Pan Am's. John's run 351. And I mean, the list goes on. And when you train with these guys, there's a level of confidence that starts to set in with, hey, like, why can't I do it too?
Yeah, absolutely. It becomes, something where it's like you're all in it together, and I felt that at different levels of the sport, obviously not the pro level. But you do mention the international kind of culture there. I feel like you had a bit of that in college running for Iona. I know the program is known for bringing in a lot of international talent. Did you feel like having that perspective and experience with all these, people from around the world kind of prepared you for that next level and being able to be a part of that kind of culture?
100%, because like in high school, you're only exposed to what's around you, right? Like the occasional you're exposed to the Americans, like all over the country. But when you get to college, there are a lot of programs that are super American based, which is fine. But you don't really know what's out there, and you don't really know how good people are until you like experience them. And for me, luckily enough, like I did go through a collegiate program that brought in talented internationals, like from Canada. I mean, Kenya when I was there, German, Irish, like, and these guys are still running. Like Mojo's a marathoner for Adidas. Jack O'Leary is running for Ireland, just ran 7:42. Um, but it also just gives you a perspective, like outside of just yourself. You experience different cultures, different foods, different lifestyles, and you come to appreciate a lot of things. And I think that helped with the transition to Baltimore because, um, like we are international as well, and it's not, you don't get stuck on that. It's just, hey, like these are my teammates, like been here before. You don't think of them any differently. Not that you should anyway, but um, it's just another day in the life.
You talk about, at the high school level, maybe not understanding, the whole world of running that's out there. But when you were in high school, having the success that you did you still kind of have it on your radar, like pro running could be something, in your future? When did that
Um,
become a goal?
yeah, I mean, in high school, I was running really well. I was on top of the world. I was like the best in my school. I was winning races, and I didn't know what it took to be a pro athlete, but I thought, surely, why wouldn't I be, right? Like I'm successful now. Surely that means it's gonna translate, and it didn't. And the first few years of college didn't go well, and that goal subsided. And I really was like thinking to myself, what am I gonna do? Like, I gotta find a way to get a job. I gotta find something I like, this, that. And then I would say my last 2 years at Iona is when the goal started to kick in because I was starting to compete in races. I was developing good tactics. I was training at a higher level. I could feel myself getting better and better. And then obviously, like I kind of exploded that last year. And that's kind of when it set in, hey, you could be a professional athlete. Really, June, NCAAs. I mean, a little bit before that, I had thought about it and been in touch with Tom Nohilly. When he was accepting the job to Atlanta. But I would say, like, yeah, I mean, NCAA's made that a reality. It was just kind of a dream until then.
How pumped were you coming out of that race? Like where you achieve something like that, and like it is so monumental as far as the accomplishment. Like the day before it, you were the same Damien Dilcher you were after it, but just that kind of result does change kind of everything.
Yeah. Um, I mean, I'm pretty sure I dabbed up like two people and then I ran straight out looking for my coaches because, like, I mean, I didn't even know what to do with myself. Like, I was so full of energy. And it's like, I remember it's funny because, you always talk about those really good runners and it's like, oh, clearly he's cheating because he's running and doing strides after he ran really hard. No, like, put that to bed, man. I had all the energy in the world. Yeah, I just went looking for my coaches, got on a really big call with my team and like celebrated with them while I could. And then, yeah, more so just with the coaches because like I went through a lot that year, and those guys, the three of them never left my side. They never gave up on me. Um, they never pushed me past my emotional limit with what was going on that year. They really had a good understanding for me, and they took care of me. So as much as that was for me, it was also for them. So the first thing I thought to do was go and look for them.
That's so special. I know, when we had Foster at BU, uh, placed third at NCAA's indoors in his final season. It was just like we had the viewing party back at the school.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to be in attendance, so we were going crazy. The coaches were going crazy. Like Vera was there as she was an athlete competing at the meet as well. So it was just such a fun vibe, and like being able to celebrate something like that. It's your college team feels like it's an accomplishment. I'm sure a lot of people from New Jersey uh, felt like that was an accomplishment for just the state and seeing one of their guys represent at the highest level. But there's really nothing better than that. So then moving forward now, you ride that high, you end up getting this professional contract with Under Armour. What can you share about what that looked like, and what are your goals now on the team at the pro level?
Um, it was a little stressful process. Like, I was back and forth with Corey, just getting in touch, talking about how this team trains and how it's different and what the process looks like, and um, seeing what's available on the budget, the team budget. And for a little while, I didn't really know what was going to happen because like it seemed like no progress was being made in terms of like getting in touch, this and that. But I mean, they had a bunch of stuff going on. It was a trials year, so very understanding of that. And then I ran the Monmouth Mile, and that was like within 2 weeks of that showing, hey, maybe the NCAAs wasn't a one-hit wonder. You beat some good collegiates, you go out, you win your first race in a PR on a big kick. Maybe like they took a chance on that, and Corey liked what he saw. He told me that I fit some of his plans down the line. Um, and then getting here, the goal had shifted from, wanting to make an NCAA meet to let's make a trials, take a stab there, take a shot at those guys, and make a team. Because I mean, at this level, there's really only a few things you could do. It's, you can run fast all you want, but like you got to make a team and you got to be able to represent USA. So that's the goal in the long run, no matter where it gets done. But just wearing USA across the chest is the goal.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I can't help but think about all the guys at your level, like, with Olympics in 2028 and things like that. Like, it's got to be on all your radars as something that's a goal. And one thing you brought up, I have to address, like the kick being an important part of your racing, and like what kind of might have led coaches to think like, hey, like this guy could have success at the next level. Obviously that's the brand of this podcast, and it's a little bit tongue in cheek, like, oh, like the kick. But I do see it a lot at the pro level. It's like you have to be able to kick when it's going to come down to a lot of tactical racing, things like that in championships. It's really important that you are able to finish strong. How do you feel like that plays a role in your toolkit and, that kind of style of racing?
I think it's one of the best tools you can have. It's hard to teach. It's hard to teach raw speed. So like if you have it, you have to make good use of it because when you're going into a championship, especially with the way the Americans are running now, you're guaranteed to close in 51. Cole Hawker's not getting any slower. Everyone's young. Strand's not getting any slower. So it's like it's either you got to be able to kick like that, or you got to move up in distance. I mean, just to be in the All American race, which wasn't one and that impressive at the time, 340. It took 150 over the last two laps to close, right? And now you're going to the U.S. level, and a 340 for them is a 334. And they're closing in 151 off 334. So you got to be able to have the kick, and you got to be able to also showcase the aerobic fitness and all the work you put in. And I mean, it's an important thing, especially for me, because like it's how I've raced my whole life throughout high school, throughout college. I've made my brand on being able to kick guys down. And it's been a little bit harder at this level because, I mean, most people at this level have that 51 speed, So it's just tapping into more of that aerobic fitness, doing more aerobic stuff, getting us ready to handle the hot paces and be able to have that kick at the end. You know what I mean?
Well said. And I don't know if this is relevant at all, but a fun little fact that I discovered doing a little research on some of your pre-race rituals. You don't, or at least at a few years ago at the time, while you were at Iona, you don't incorporate strides into your pre-race warm-up. Is that true? Is that
Um, so it was for a while. Before I came here to Baltimore, I didn't do strides before workouts. I didn't believe in it. It was always, hey, like why would you do it? You only need to do it on race day. And I didn't really do them pre-race until my junior year or not junior year. I always get lost with the COVID years, but it was my second to last year, racing with Mayel at Stanford. Joe had me do 100, 100, 200 times two, and I won the race the next day. So me being a very ritualistic person, I immediately incorporated that. But no, that was true. For the longest time, didn't do strides. Before the race, I thought it was a waste of energy. Didn't do it the day before race, thought it was a waste of energy. Um, but I've learned.
No, that's interesting. I think it's funny how you like have that one experience where things go right, and now it's like now that's what I'm doing. I've had that before too, where like I'll have a specific thing I ate, and then I'm like, if the race went well, like now I'm eating that before every race, or just
Yeah.
little things like that. It can totally shift your kind of approach, and I do see what you're saying with like conserving energy before races. I was always very mindful of like I don't want to do anything that's gonna tire me out, like being at BU and a lot of our races being at BU for the indoor season, I was able to like basically do nothing the whole day before and day of because I live 5 minutes from the facility.
Yeah.
And then I would just sit in the locker room. Like it was very, like it made you feel like you had, all your energy left when you took the line. So it does make some sense, but I think that's a fun fact because strides are like
Yeah.
such a common thing for people to do before races. That's
Yeah.
unique.
Never did them, man. Never believed in them. Yeah, but then you watch the Jakob documentary, and this guy doesn't even walk upstairs, so you got to take energy conserving to like an extreme. You know what I mean? Got to do everything you can to save every little bit, every little percent.
Yeah, it can get like almost too much, like where you're
Yeah,
like, all right,
yeah,
I gotta start, I gotta just like live life. This is getting ridiculous. But
yeah,
hey, it's the little things at that level. So you have a background in I think a few sports. I feel like I saw that you played football even like in high school, and you were kind of like juggling between football, cross country, and then I think an injury made that decision clear for you that you were gonna go all in on the running.
yeah.
Yeah, what's that background look like?
Yeah. I mean, ever since I was a child, it was pretty ingrained in my brain that I was going to be a professional athlete of some sort. Didn't matter what sport it was. Um, I really loved football. I played football from a young age. I played baseball as well. I didn't really like baseball that much. It wasn't as fun. Um, but played football for as long as I can remember. And then in high school, I took it back up because I stopped playing for a few years, like 2, 3 years. But I didn't play for my high school. I played for a Pop Warner team because you couldn't play two sports at once. So yeah, my freshman year of high school and eighth grade of middle school, I was running and then would immediately go to football practice after like cross country practice. And my freshman year, before I got injured, that made the decision. I remember like I had a cross country freshman meet like 8 in the morning, went and won the race, and then immediately left to go drive 3 hours to a football game and played quarterback for my Lakewood team. So, um, yeah, those were the golden years when you had all the energy to do stuff like that.
The energy, and also that you're a great athlete when you're able to do that. It's funny. I was actually just in Boston and speaking with Quincy Wilson a little bit. The high school sprinter, phenomenal athlete. I think he has the high school record in 400 meter. But he was saying that he like hopped in for the last two games of his football team season, and he played like he led the team in tackles. He also played running back. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no way like your track coach is like this. Like that's just absurd to be able to do that. But yeah, you've got a great athlete when you can play multiple sports like that in that manner.
Oh yeah, and him, I mean, he's much faster than I was when I was that age. So surely he's on a different planet when it comes to what the football teams got out of them.
I would have loved to see just like the highlights of that. Like
Oh
Quincy
yeah.
Wilson at running back, like he's probably exploding out of the backfield. Like
I
that's
mean, yeah, your safeties have to be lined up 48 yards downfield just to even get a touch on them.
yeah.
That's insane.
I wonder how much they knew. Like oh, like by the way, this guy's the fastest kid in the country. Like
Yeah, he's an Olympic champion 400 runner for four. Yeah, like
yeah, that's crazy. So one thing that I always find fascinating, a subject to talk about is, for you, you're a pro runner now, you still have a team, but things do change after you graduate college and move on from, that kind of team dynamic. How do you kind of navigate being like, all right, like the high school days are over, the college days are over. Now, like, this is kind of up to me. Like, your goal setting, it's very much on you and like holding yourself accountable. What are the goals and, how do you feel in that environment without the team behind you?
um yeah, it definitely gets a little tough because like in high school and in college you kind of have people holding your hand through most of the processes. Like in terms of racing, it's not a matter of if you're going to get in, it's what meets you're going to race. I mean, scheduling classes, this, that, and the other. Yeah, when you leave all that and you go professional and literally your only job is to run it, it becomes very hard because it's all you think about, right? Like you think about everything to an extreme. Like you don't have classes to break those thoughts up. Like for instance, if you have a bad race, and my college coach, who I just spoke with about this at Dr. Sanders, if you have a bad race, it's all you think about because you don't have anything to get those thoughts out of your head. You just go home, lay in bed, think about it. You don't have class or a project due. Um, and it is hard to hold yourself accountable because it's easy to just wake up at 10 and run rather than get it done earlier. Or, some days you wake up and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this at all. There's no scheduled team practice for the day. And it's really easy to sit there and say, I don't want to do this, but you have to get out the door and hold yourself accountable. Um, it's also tougher not living with my teammates because living with them, they were leaving at a set time every day. So it was like, all right, I got to be ready to go by this time. But, when I'm on my own, it's like I could spend 5 more minutes doing this or 10 more minutes doing that and end up being a little bit late and being like, oh, well, I should have left earlier. Um, but the goals in terms of this are like, yeah, just holding yourself accountable, making sure that you're getting up and doing what you have to do. Because if you listen to any great runner talk, the one thing they talk about is consistency. Like Rome wasn't built in a day. You're not going to get good just hammering 200s. Like you gotta put the work in, you gotta put the consistency in. And if you're not doing that, then it doesn't matter what goal you have. So I would say the goal for me right now is just piling on weeks on weeks on weeks of good training and consistent training. And no matter how the races are going, not forgetting what's important. And it's training for the long run. Um, but that would be my main goal right now, outside of racing goals.
Yeah, and you've built up those habits, over so many years of being a highly competitive athlete that I feel like you, as hard as it can be and as much on your shoulders as it can be now, like you have that to fall back on that you've done it for so many years. Being in Baltimore, it's not always the best weather this time of year. It's, February right now. Do you as a team, are you guys able to, kind of get out of the city and like go to some like warmer places to train, or do you like staying there and kind of like building that toughness? I know you have a nice indoor facility, so
Um, Yeah, it's a little bit of a combination. We are getting out. A lot of guys went to Arizona. I'm leaving for South Carolina on Monday. I'm the last one in Baltimore. We do stay and like kind of tough it out, but at some point, the conversation with Corey becomes, is it worth the risk? Is training in the cold worth potentially being sick for a week or a couple days? And it's like, at this level, just 2 days off could do a lot to the brain, to the mind, and you could feel like you lose a lot, which then physically you're going to act like you lost a lot. So um, it's nice to stay and tough things out. Growing up in Jersey, going to school in New York, I had to deal with all this stuff all the time. You know what it's like. Boston and New Jersey, which even worse than New York. Um, but sometimes you got to think long term, and I think that's what our plan is right now. We're getting out of this below freezing snowy weather and somewhere a little warmer to get ready for the end of indoors and early outdoors.
Yeah, it's so refreshing when you're able to do that. A couple weeks ago, I was able to go to Florida, and I was just like, "Oh, I cannot go back. Like, this is so nice." Like, and
Yeah,
during the summer when it gets really hot here, I'm always like I wish it was cooler, but
yeah,
yeah, just,
exactly.
grass is always greener. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, man, I was in Boston for the race and I thought Baltimore was bad. I walked around Boston without my gloves on for 5 minutes and I couldn't feel my hands for a good 10, 15 minutes when I got back.
It's especially bad this year too. It's like the Arctic blast, whatever you call it. It's just been
Yeah, it's brutal.
ridiculous. And
It is.
Boston, the wind. I think Baltimore probably gets the win too, just like any city. But yeah, the wind in Boston can be just totally devastating. It's
Yeah, we get it, but we don't get it like you guys get it. We get that good harbor breeze. Smells a little bad sometimes, but I don't know what it is about you guys in Boston, but the wind there is unreal. Like you'd think it's Chicago, honestly.
yeah, yeah, no, it is crazy. Well, we used to say like, Chicago's named the Windy City, but Boston's just as windy, like statistically.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
rough.
it's unbelievable.
We would like always want to stay on the indoor track like through even the beginning of the outdoor season because sometimes our outdoor track isn't particularly great for training. It's fine. It's like a 4-lane track with some sharp turns. But obviously our indoor track is much preferred. And then when the weather is also a factor, you're like, can we please
Yeah.
just keep it indoors? Foster, your teammate now, actually was a big indoor guy. Like we would do
Listen,
runs where it wasn't even that bad, and he would be like, "I got to get on the treadmill." So I don't know if he's still
this
like that.
he is 100% still like that. It could be 60 and sunny, and he'll come in and be like, "Oh, the treadmills today, the treadmills." Foster kills me. Yeah, I can totally imagine that he did majority of his runs, everything on an indoor facility.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, he tells stories, but yeah, he's a funny guy. Yeah, he likes to give it to Corey sometimes though, in like a joking way, because he knows that Corey's going to expect him to do it, so he'll come in and just kind of rage bait Corey a little bit with the treadmill talk and stuff. Yeah, Foster is a particularly funny individual.
yeah, yeah. Great to have around. What was it like? So I feel like most of you guys were in Boston last week for that team trip. Competing at BU. I know Foster competed, and a couple of other guys at the New Balance meet the week before. But traveling like as a pro team, what does that look like? And yeah, was that fun?
Yeah, yeah, it's makes travel really easy. Because there's not many of us, but just enough to where it's like you're not really ever traveling alone. No matter where guys are going, there's more than likely at least one guy going with you. Um, it makes life easy because if you know you're doing a race before that someone else might be doing, you kind of get travel booked out and planned, and then you kind of send it to the other guys as like a guideline for what you're doing, and then you get to the airport together or the train station together, and you do pretty much everything together. Um, and when you're first joining a team, that's really helpful because when I first joined, I didn't really know how much of that worked. I never booked my own flights, never was at the airport alone or having to get to a train station. So um, I definitely took the time to learn that aspect of it because thankfully, because it was really important. Because you do end up traveling alone here and there. And it's also just like a good skill to have is like being able to be efficient with travel. Um, but yeah, having a bunch of guys really makes that process easy where like we're never alone.
Have you traveled like international yet with the team or like for running? Like I always thought that would be so cool. Have you done that?
Yeah, yeah. I went to Canada with Foster. That's we raced those 2 races together. I don't remember if I flew with Foster. I think I actually flew alone because I messed up my flights and I thought I booked my flights and didn't and had to book the day before. Um, so I flew like Air Canada alone, but I traveled back with my teammates, which was nice. Yeah, the international trip was awesome. We stayed with Foster's family. They were great hosts. They fed us super well, got us where we needed to be. And I got to see some cool parts of Canada.
That was really cool. Yeah, you had the Malik's hosting was perfect. That's no better tour guide than that.
No, no, not at all. They had everything you could possibly want and more.
Yeah, so I've heard. I've never actually been to visit Foster in Canada, but I've heard he's got a good setup. So
Got a good setup. You got to go give him a visit. He's got a good setup.
that's awesome. Yeah. Well deserved. I always say he's like one of Canada's best runners ever. So I guess gotta treat him well.
Yeah, I mean, talking maybe Mohamed and then Foster. So I mean,
Crazy.
he's in that conversation for sure, especially with the way he's running right now. He's unbelievable.
He's having a great season, great year. I feel like
Yeah.
ever since, his final season at BU, he's just done so well in pro level, like won races, set NPRs. So
Yeah, I mean, he
definitely.
adjusted really well to the training, and I mean, he just exploded and never looked back. And I mean, the ball's still rolling, so we're happy for him. We're excited for him. Um, it's always good when your teammates are, like I said earlier, when your teammates are running like that, because it gives you that confidence, like you could do it too. And Foster setting the tone for the team with 351. It's like, all right, like now we just got to keep making that bar for the team lower and lower and lower. So he's doing a good job. He's given us a lot of confidence and a lot of hope. So
I've heard pro runners this year particularly say that it's like, oh, it's like not a big year for the sport or like, whatever, just the way like meets fell. But talking to him and a couple other people, uh, like that's not the attitude that you have to have. Like racing is racing. What is your schedule looking like? Do you have a good idea of like what's on your calendar in the racing department and like what are the big goals, things like that? Do you know what that looks like yet?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like next weekend, I'll race at JDL in the sound meet. We'll race a mile. Hopefully, go out, win a good race, get a U.S. Trial standard, and then go to BU last chance for maybe a 3K to try to get that one as well. But if we don't get the mile standard, maybe go to last chance for the mile. Definitely racing those two. It's just a matter of which one I race at BU. Um, but goal is to get the USAs and try to make a team. Got another month until that race, so I got limited opportunities to get the job done and get the time qualifier, but I'm just as confident as I've ever been that I'm going to, so just got to put it together on the day. And then after that, going into outdoors, um, looking at the BAA mile, Drake relays, the USATF road mile, and then just kind of seeing where we are after that, what we're able to get into. And having in my agent now, Steven, is really nice because we're able to get into meets we weren't really able to get into last year. So, keeping in touch with him and just seeing what's on the schedule.
Drake relays. That was a big one for you last year, right? Didn't you place
Yeah,
second?
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big race because that was the race where Vince Ciotti and I went to the line, and that was a big moment for me because Vince is one of the best runners in the world, and I know it was a tactical race, but he got me at the road mile, like I was fifth, and he made a really good move and just held on, and I keep looking at him, and I'm like, man, I just want to beat him, I want to beat him, I want to beat him, because I look at him, and he is like to me like a pinnacle of American distance running. Like he's run 331. Like I'm pretty sure he's run sub 350. If not, he's run close. He just ran 738, and it's like, that's a guy that you have to beat to make a team. So like, I've had my few opportunities at him, and that was the closest I've gotten so far. But that set a good tone for my outdoor season. Had the wheels early and showed I was in good tactical shape. And it was just a matter of getting that aerobic fitness to run fast.
Was it under the lights? I know a lot of the Drake races or like Twilight races, or is it that one earlier in the deck?
That would have been sick if it was, but
Oh,
that was they had it earlier in the day. I think
okay.
it was around 2 p.m. we raced.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been sick. That would have been a
Yeah.
good race to have. Max Davies taking over with 400 to go. A lot of cool names in that field.
Yeah. The energy of a night race is something special. I always miss like the Jersey ones. I'm sure you did like the Homedale night of 16s and 32s. Some
Loved that
classic,
race.
classic. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
dude. Like I mean, I'll always say I think premier running is run when the lights are on.
yeah.
It's when you're gonna get everyone's best.
And you're seeing it, I feel like a little bit more now, like maybe not necessarily under the lights, but a lot of the races that have been like televised lately, they're on like major networks. Like I think the last 2 weeks in a row, obviously Milrose always is, but like New Bounce, Indoor Grand Prix, like they've gotten good billing, and that's been really good to see for the sport. Um, and being there in person was fun for New Balance Indoor Grand Prix, but I had people saying like, oh, like we're watching on NBC, and like I was in the little media area and they like said they saw me a couple times. I was like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, the sport's taking a step, man. It really is. Yeah, crazy. You used to be able to watch all these races for free just a few years ago, and now all these big streaming services are picking them up. So you can see the sport's trending in the right direction.
Yeah, it feels that way. It definitely feels that way. And you're right in the thick of it. You're one of the competitors. You've got that opportunity. I feel like you know, coming from whatever it be, your high school, your college, like people generally are just very supportive of, the guys who like keep going in the sport. Have you felt that support as like, you've got a lot of people in your corner? It's, generations of, people that you've either been coached by or been teammates, families of your teammates. Like, do you feel that
Yeah.
support?
100%. With high school, it's a little weird. Like, there's a few people I still talk to, like, I call her Miss Worth. She was my elementary school guidance counselor, actually, and I was going through a little bit of a troubled time, and she stuck with me, and she helped develop me into a better person, and I still talk to her. I still talk to a few people from my high school, but honestly, for the most part, no. Like, outside of like the friends I left with, it seemed like I was just kind of well, like I hear from more people from like other little schools and counties and whatnot, which is fine. I had my issues with my high school, but in college for sure. I mean, those guys still talk to me, reach out to me. I talk to the college coach Joe Piento and Van and Chris whenever I see them. That support system has been unbelievable and continues to be. And to me, that's the one that matters the most because like that's where I built my foundation as a runner. Um, and yeah, I mean they still keep up with me and message me. Joe would always send me heavy metal songs before races, and he still does. So yeah, the support is running deep with them.
That's like it's great to have traditions too, where it's like, oh, like this guy always sends me something specific. That's cool. It's almost like part of the pre-race ritual. Then
Right,
you've
exactly.
got, you've got your heavy metal song. Yeah, I feel like that's a great note to end off the main segment of the podcast on. But we do have a tradition here on the kick. We end podcasts just like we end races. We end them fast with a 10 rapid fire question segment.
Oh.
We're gonna see, you have a fast kick on the track, but we're gonna see how fast is Damien Dilcher's podcast kick.
All right, I'm ready.
I'm ready. Okay, cool. I want to actually see Foster was like right around a minute, so I feel like that'd be a good goal to beat him.
Okay.
Yeah, something like it's like just under a minute, I think. So I have a good feeling that you could take him down. All right, you ready?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, clock starts after I ask the first question. Here we go. Do you still eat chicken parm and broccoli before every race?
Yes.
Favorite New Jersey cross country course?
Homedale.
If you could play any other sport other than running?
Football.
Favorite race distance?
The mile.
Race you dream of running someday?
The Olympics.
Favorite movie?
Coraline.
Favorite TV show?
Severance.
Favorite Jersey beach?
The Belmar.
Who's winning Super Bowl 60?
The Patriots.
What state has the best bagels?
Oh, Jersey.
33 seconds. That is incredible. If it wasn't for a podcast we literally just recorded, that would be the record. 33 seconds is filthy fast. That's great.
Oh, I was locked in. I was locked in for a minute.
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten better with asking the questions fast. But that was an all-time performance right there. So congrats.
Let's go. It's got to translate to the track now.
Yeah, I was thinking you might throw Sopranos in there for favorite TV show, but Severance, man, I've heard good things. And that actually has its Jersey connections too. Homedale, I believe, isn't it filmed, or at least part of it is filmed right around Homedale?
I mean, likely, yeah. I don't even because we just finished Severance, so like it's kind of still there, but yeah, I guess if I could go back, it would be The Sopranos for sure. But S&S, got confused with the first letters.
Yeah, no, and you've got to answer quick, so I don't blame you. But no, I've heard great things. I haven't watched Severance.
Give it a watch. It's very good.
Okay, absolutely will. And then let's see. The first question was about your chicken parm and broccoli before races. I didn't bring that up earlier, but I did discover that's a thing that you do. So
Still to every race.
No pasta?
A little bit, yeah,
Pasta,
but
yeah.
definitely like chicken parm and a green, a little bit of pasta. Won't ever switch it. I will do that until I retire.
I love that.
Yeah, that's my ritual right there.
You've got to have your routine, and then there's no questions before a race what you're going to be doing.
Exactly.
What'd you say for favorite movie?
Coraline.
Coraline. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that's a unique one. Okay.
Yeah.
That
I
one
mean, I saw it in
scared me.
theaters. Saw in
much.
theaters twice, man, with my mom when I was a kid. I don't know why I love it so much. It's just like a little creepy, but I love the claymation aspect. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just, that movie I could put it on every day and watch it.
It's a great
Um,
flick.
yeah, I don't know what it is about that movie, but that's it.
Love that. And then we've got the Super Bowl coming up. Patriots is your pick. I think I might go Seahawks.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've
I've
taken
been
it.
hearing a lot of the Boston fans. I'm a little bit kind of like feeling they're not really deserving of another Super Bowl run, but
It's fair enough. I mean, yeah, I took a really deep dive into football statistics this year, and I mean, Seahawks are the likely winner. I think the difference for me is that Mike Vrabel has won a Super Bowl, whether it was as a coach or a player, is the big difference here. Um, but I mean, that's the beauty of the game, man. Who knows?
yeah, who knows? I think it could be a good one. But yeah, neither team is one that I expected to be Super Bowl ready this season. So we'll see.
It'll
We'll
be a
see.
good one.
Yeah. Well, enjoy that. And really appreciate you coming on the podcast. For listeners who weren't already fans of Damien Dilcher, now this is a guy to root for, the rest of this season, looking forward, Olympics 2028. I mean, it's all out in front of you. I see very bright things in your future and wishing you the best of luck. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. It was a blast.